Peace family, it's your girl Queen of Pentacles 1111, and I am back with yet another pick a card reading. This message is coming to you straight from the divine realm, from the universe, letting you know exactly what will be rushing towards you in the year 2022. I did another video recently called What You Will Be Manifesting in 2022. This video is different in that whether you manifest this or not, it's coming for you. So if you're interested in knowing what your 2022 is going to look like, please keep watching. All right, peace family. Thank you for tuning in with me today. If you chose pile number 1, you chose this card here, which is the number 85. I covered up the header at the bottom because I wanted you to work with your intuition and choose the pile that kind of spoke to you. I wanted you to choose your piles with your spiritual eye as opposed to your physical one. And so I covered up the heading. So for you all, group number 1, it says, follow your dreams. All right. Then underneath you have this little card here, this little black card. That's an extra message for group number 1. And this card says healing, true healing of the mind, body, and soul. Okay, so group number 1, already I can see for the year 2022, coming towards you is going to be a sense of fulfillment and self-actualization. You are going to be able to live your best life in a sense that you will explore different avenues in your life that will help you feel whole and feel like your true self. No longer will you have to kind of, or you won't be interested in doing what everybody else is doing or what they say is right, what society says you should do. In 2022, either you're going to go full on into it or you're going to begin exploring different things about life that interest you as a person and that make you you. All right, following your dreams. We all have different dreams. That following your dreams is different for everybody. Your dreams, right? It depends on the person. What I want for my life is definitely not necessarily what you want for your life. So in 2022, I feel a lot of new beginnings coming for group number 1. I feel a lot of contentment and just feeling full and confident because, you know, we all know when we try something new that is different to us, but something that we're really interested in, it may feel super duper uncomfortable at the beginning, but once you finally achieve it or even just start doing it, you have such a great sense of appreciation for yourself and you look at yourself completely differently, with a lot of admiration and respect for even just approaching the things that maybe you were afraid to in your past. All right, so we did our tarot cards here. You all got 4. I was meaning to take 3, but I thought let me take all of them here. You got the Death card, which also says rebirth. We got the 7 of Pentacles. We got the Fool card. And we got the Ace of Swords. Okay, so this is exactly what I was just talking about. In 2022, you're going to leave behind a lot of old ways of thinking, old mentality, old ways of self-talk that were holding you back from becoming your truest, most best, and most exhilarating version of yourself. The energies are letting you know to, if you are, let's say, for example, you're interested in starting to learn how to dance, for example, and you've always been worried about it because you weren't sure of how people would perceive you. You weren't sure if you had enough rhythm, if you could do the steps, if you would look, you know, totally uncoordinated. Now they're letting you know, the energies are letting you know, just go for it. You have nothing to lose. If you never try, then you'll never know that maybe you can be an amazing dancer, or maybe you just gain a new sense of confidence seeing that you were able to kind of overcome that obstacle, the obstacle being you and what you think other people are going to think of you, or even what you're going to think of yourself. The point is, you're going to have a certain time in 2022, or maybe you've had it now and it's going to spill over into 2022, a sense of mental clarity that's going to make you realize like, hey, Why am I holding myself back from achieving what I want to achieve? If I look around me, everybody else is trying new things and some of them are doing really well at it. And then there are people who try different things and they fail and they say, okay, whatever, at least I tried. Let me move on to something else. You're going to end up adapting that kind of mentality. And even if you haven't adapted that mentality yet, the energies are letting you know to explore that. Explore that way of thinking, explore that way of doing things. And they also want you to understand that no matter what it is you embark on, whatever journey you embark on in 2022, especially ones towards self actualization and expressing yourself in more of a creative way, I would say, or a more outward way, they're asking you to have patience. They want you to nurture that thing. They don't want you to feel like, okay, I'm going to start learning to dance and I'm going to be good at it right away. They want you to keep reminding yourself that you have to take baby steps and you have to nurture it, just as you see this person here is nurturing and watching over these seeds that they've planted. They're asking you to be the same way towards yourself. And once you do, once you take time and be patient with yourself, then you'll start to enjoy the discomfort in a way. You know, the discomfort is a necessary thing when you're trying new things, when you want to level up, when you want to better yourself. That is something that you have to kind of get used to and you just got to learn how to cope with. So they're asking you to kind of like get comfortable with being uncomfortable. There's nothing wrong with that. This is your journey. This is your path towards being the best version of yourself that you ever could. I feel like for some of you in group number 1, 2022 is going to be a year where you find that kind of harmony, that inner harmony that you've been searching for and that maybe you saw other people have and you thought maybe you could never have. 2022 is the year where it starts. You're just gonna, I think it's just gonna get to a point, group number 1, where you feel like, okay, you know what, I'm tired of wondering what if. This could also be a love situation where you are interested in somebody and you've been holding yourself back from pursuing a relationship with them because you're worried about maybe different ethnicities, different cultures, different religions. You know, you don't know how your family is going to receive this person. Maybe it could even be a love situation. But to be honest, I feel like it's a you situation in 2022. For the most of you, I do believe that you are going to be working towards bettering yourselves and conquering your fears and just being fearless and unapologetically you. All right, so the first card we have here for group number 1 is just a huge encouragement for you. This one says abundance is your birthright. Okay, so as we well know, I say this all the time in my videos, abundance is not necessarily money. We also know that abundance, there could be an abundance of happiness, an abundance of confidence, an abundance of ambition, good luck, good fortune, love. All of these things, you know, can mean abundance, but it just depends on who's looking at it and whose perspective it's coming from, because not everybody views abundance in the same way. Someone who has a lot of money right now may not see getting more money as a windfall of abundance. Someone who has a lot of money may feel like an abundance of love is everything for them at this point. Then somebody with no money could be looking for, you know, it just depends on who you are and what place you are at in your life at this point in time. So what your position is in life at this point in time. It's all about your perspective. So they want you to know that in 2022, when you finally do take that step to kind of put yourself out of your comfort zone and break out of that box that you've made for yourself, or maybe society has made for you, or even your family, your loved ones. Once you decide to step out of that box, then you'll see the abundance begin to flow. And I do believe it will be an abundance of self-love, an abundance of confidence, happiness, fulfillment, that type of thing. Group number 1, that is what is coming to you as far as I see. It's just this confidence and like leveling up and self-assuredness that will come from trying different things and broadening your horizons and looking at life very differently than you did in years past. I do believe that you're gonna explore and find a new version of yourself in 2022, group number one, and a new version for the better. Not necessarily like you're not going to necessarily look at yourself in the mirror and say, who the hell am I? What's going on with my life? It's not going to be that situation, that vibe at all. It's going to be you looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, yeah, I did that. Look at me now. You know, those who maybe counted me out and didn't think I was going to, you know, amount to much, or I couldn't do it, that I was going to quit. Look at me now, and forget other people. At the end of the day, I do believe 2022 is going to be about you and you alone. So I feel like a leveling up, group number one, where confidence is concerned, and just contentment and being proud of yourself, and a sense of inner peace will be coming towards you as well, group number one, in the year 2022. These are things that like you can't put a price on. These are things that a lot of people want for themselves, but they don't have the guts or the confidence to go out and achieve. And maybe you used to be that person, but 2022 is bringing a whole new vibe for you. All right, so these two oracle cards here say journey by moonlight, believe in magic. So that's exactly it. If you feel like, you know, you're not cut out for this new venture or this new version of yourself, you have to believe it first, and then you can achieve it. Don't count yourself out. Don't say, oh, well, I'm not this type of... Don't say, well, I'm not this type of person. I shouldn't be doing this, that, and the other. Do not limit yourself. Do not put yourself in a box. Yeah, sorry. So it's definitely going to be an inside job, and it's definitely going to be something that you're going to work on. Maybe it's something that you'll keep to yourself at the beginning, but then when you gain the confidence, you will end up putting yourself out there a little bit more. You won't be so afraid to be seen. The next oracle card we have here says unknown territory. You are exactly where you need to be. So group number one, don't fear, okay? If you feel like, you know, there's some trepidation going on, if you're worried about your competence, let's say, where this new thing is concerned, or you worry about if you have what it takes to become this better version of yourself, don't worry about it. Understand that you are a work in progress, as are all of us, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. You are where you need to be now, because now is the place. Like some of you have come out of a really dark situation recently. They want you to know that that's okay. That had to happen so that you could, you know, get your butt in action enough to finally embark on the path to become a better version of yourself. So right now, even if you're feeling a little low on yourself, you're feeling a little confused, maybe you feel like, you know, you should be doing something, but you're not quite sure how to begin, or how to like, how to approach your, like, you know, your new path in life. It's all right. It will come to you. Just be open to receiving positive vibes and energies and direction and guidance from the universe, and or your spirit guides or your ancestors, whoever. But don't fret, and don't put a box, don't limit yourself again and make yourself feel like, okay, well, I should be doing this right now. If I want to lose 20 pounds, okay, well, I should be doing this right now. I should be losing 1.5 pounds every week. I should be doing, don't do that, because it limits yourself, and then it eventually puts more stress on you. What? Sorry, and then it eventually puts more stress on you, and that's not what you need right now. Okay, you need to be patient with yourself. You need to understand everything's happening for a reason. It's about the process, not necessarily the progress, even though the progress will come, but you have to kind of be patient with yourself and enjoy the journey, right? Don't get caught up in where you want to be, even though we know you have goals in mind like we all do. Just enjoy the process and gain a new love and admiration for yourself. Because once you have that, there's nothing you can't achieve. All right, so group number one, that was amazing. I have one more card for you, one more oracle card. This is a little bit of encouragement from the universe in your new path, for your new path, your new journey for the year 2022. And I think you got 2 cards. Group number one, you're greedy, man. I keep getting more than 1 card for you, so I'll take all 3. I got 3 this time. So for group number one, you have this oracle card here that says, I let go of the shadow of the past by seeing someone for the first time with the eyes of love. So that sums up this reading very well. Don't put yourself in a box. Don't think of the person you used to be in your past. Look at yourself with new eyes, and look at yourself with patient eyes and eyes of love. Wow, that's deep. The next one says, instead of praying for an outcome, I pray for the highest good of all. Right? That's good. Like I was saying, don't put too many expectations on the outcome, the destination. Just concentrate on the process, on the journey. And this last oracle card says for group number 1, when I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. So don't force, don't push, just relax and flow. You want to become a certain type of person, take baby steps towards achieving your goal every single day. You may fall off, but you'll get back on. In 2022, group number 1, the energy that I see coming towards you is one of self-love, self-actualization, and believing that anything is possible. All right, so I wish you all the best, group number 1. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. It means the world to me. Until we see each other again, guys, bye. Peace, family. Thank you for tuning in with me today. For those of you who chose pile number 2, this is your reading. You chose the pile with this card here and the number 87. So let's begin. So I covered up this first card here. I covered up the header because I wanted you to choose your cards, your piles, based on your intuition and your spiritual eye, not so much your physical one. So I covered up the little header, and what you all got, group number 2, is synchronicity. Very nice. And you also have another little oracle card here. This one says labyrinth, transition to a higher level of being, raising your energetic vibration and enlightenment. All right, so from these 2 cards right away, group number 2, I'm getting the vibe that in 2022, you are going to experience some kind of spiritual enlightenment, whatever that looks like to you. It looks very different to different people because we're all at different levels in our spiritual journeys. So some of you can just be getting started in your spiritual journey. Some of you could be pretty advanced, so it just depends on where you are in your journey, but you're going to level up in 2022. And the way that you'll know, for example, that you are leveling up in the year 2022 is by the synchronicities. When we say synchronicities, we think of things like repeating numbers and such, but it's also a lot of little things that will go on in your life that you would usually consider coincidences. But those in the spiritual community or those who believe in this type of stuff will know that there's no such thing as a coincidence. And those situations are actually called synchronicities. Those are things that are letting you know that you are in your own vortex, that you are in alignment, or that the universe is sending you messages that you can tap into and learn how to proceed and maneuver in this thing we call life. All right, so you got your 3 tarot cards here. The first one is the Wheel. The second one is the High Priestess. Okay, I was just saying this. And the third one is the Emperor. All right, so I do believe, group number 2, that maybe some of you in general lead more to kind of your, masculine energies. Okay, we all have masculine and feminine energies within us. Okay, it has nothing to do with your gender or how you identify. The spirit is fluid, right? So I feel like some of you in group number 2 have been kind of leading with your masculine energy more so, but they're asking you to kind of tap into your more feminine, free-flowing energy if you want to level up spiritually speaking. We have here the High Priestess. Like, you have nothing better to kind of sum up the journey of becoming more in tune with your spiritual self and kind of broadening your horizon spiritually speaking. Some of you may be becoming just psychic in 2022. You may start having those kind of psychic revelations. You may become channelers, mediums. And if we want to talk about synchronicities as a prime example, you all are group number 2. We have the High Priestess here, which is the main tarot card that you got, is the number 2 as well. So it just goes to show, like, that's exactly what we're talking about when we're talking about synchronicities. Those tiny little things that maybe other people would overlook and ignore, but those of you who are tapped in or tuned in to your spiritual self or the energies around you will see that as, okay, that's a message for you. So Um, Group number 2, I see very powerful changes coming towards you for the better where your spirituality is concerned. I feel like maybe some of you have been embarking on your spiritual journey and exploring your spirituality, but maybe like you've been tuned into these synchronicities and looking at, oh, I see 111 on the clock, I see 444, but not knowing exactly what to make of those things. Or maybe even some of you have been able to kind of figure out what's going to happen before it happens, but you still kind of feel clueless, like you cannot put the pieces together. Well, in 2022, things will change and it will start to make more sense to you. Let's see. Wow, this is pretty cool. I also feel like with this Emperor card here, I feel like some of you are interested as well as taking your spiritual gifts to the next level and using it as a source of income. They're giving you the green light. They're saying that you should go ahead with that because you are proficient. I hear a lot of you are channelers, mediums. You deal with a lot of metaphysical things and you're very good at it, or you will become very good at it. And later on, when you gain the confidence, you'll be able to parlay that into a career, something that will become very lucrative for you. I see also for group number 2 in 2022 that if you've been having a rough go of things lately that have been kind of bogging your spirit down and making you feel heavy spiritually speaking, that is going to change. That you'll end up feeling a lot more light in your, like energetically speaking, in 2022. You'll start to feel a lot more light just on a day-to-day basis. You'll start to feel not so heavy, not so foggy. You'll gain some clarity. You'll feel just better about your life and who you are as a person. I feel like there'll be a lot of soul growth for group number 2 as well. All right, group number 2, you got 3 cards. I don't usually take this much, but I'm feeling this reading, so I'm going to take all of them. All right, so for this card here, we have here, this oracle card says, love is your energy. All right, we also have this one that says, take responsibility for your actions. And the last one says, give without expectation. So maybe some of you in group number 2 have been hindering your own progress. So maybe you do want to achieve certain things in your life where your spirituality and your spiritual gifts are concerned, but maybe you've been holding yourself from achieving that greatness. And they're asking you to step away from yourself. They're asking you to move away from that type of life and approaching yourself in that way. They're asking you to examine your self-talk as well. How do you talk to yourself? How do you view yourself? That was a lot of cards that fell out. How do you view yourself? Do you tell yourself, no, you cannot achieve those things? Or are you your biggest critic? Are you somebody who will say, no, that's not a synchronicity, that's just a coincidence? They're asking you to kind of get out of your own way. Love yourself enough to know and to trust your hunches, your views, the downloads that you receive from the energies. Trust yourself, okay? Give onto yourself, give love unto yourself, treat yourself with respect, and just validate all of your feelings that you have. Don't kind of blow them off and put them on the back burner as like silliness and that type of stuff. They want you to take yourself more seriously in 2022 to be able to receive your gifts. All right, we have this oracle card here that says, loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, and let God in. So let God in, let the energies in so that they can communicate with you more freely, more readily, and things will start to make a lot more sense to you. I feel like group number 2, you've definitely been holding your own self back. Like I said at the beginning with this Emperor card here, I feel like some of you lean more to your masculine side in the sense that you could be very goal-oriented and very ambitious, which is wonderful. But if you're interested in exploring a more spiritual side of yourself, maybe some of you in group number 2 are looking for balance and harmony, because I see with the number 87, that brings us to a 15, which ends up being a 6. And for me, that has a lot to do with harmony and domestic harmony, to be exact. Now, a lot of the time, domestic harmony usually has to do with things of the home, but you are also a home. You are the home to your spirit, to your soul, to your inner self. And I feel like for some of you, you've been leading with this masculine energy, and maybe you're looking towards gaining some kind of balance in your life. Maybe you're feeling, group number 2, some of you are very spiritually inclined and you're feeling out of balance. So they're asking you now to kind of lead with that feminine energy. You got the masculine energy on lock. You're ambitious, you get things done, you have tunnel vision when you need to, you don't get distracted easily by pettiness and nonsense. But I also feel like, now is the time to kind of explore the other side of yourself, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I think some of you out there who identify as male can be struggling with the fact, getting in touch with your more feminine side. There could be some ideas and stigmas that you may hold with that kind of concept, and they're asking you to let go of that, okay? It's okay to delve into your more spiritual and free-flowing self. Also, I'm also getting that some of you can be, those of you who will become channelers and psychic mediums, you could be communicating with a male ancestor or a male spirit guide, okay? Someone who could have been from your bloodline. Sorry, I'm struggling. Your bloodline, and they are a male in your family who has made the transition, and now they are ready, or they've been ready to work with you, and now you're going to be able to finally open up the channels. All right, so the last card I have here for group number 2 for 2022 is boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Okay, so like I was saying, one thing, I was going to say that before I looked at this card, as we were just talking about communicating with different energies and different spirits, be responsible, be careful, and set proper boundaries. When you're getting involved with spiritual work, make sure you set boundaries as to who it is you want to communicate, how you want to communicate with them. You can set the tone and ask the energies to see certain signs. It's good when you start any spiritual work to do an opening ritual and a closing ritual. Like, for example, if you want to deal with, if you have an ancestor who's made the transition and you want to communicate with them, make sure that you're specific in the sense that you say, I only wish to work with this ancestor. Be very firm with your boundaries when you're doing spiritual work, especially when you're just getting started. You can also do things like to close yourself off or to protect yourself a little bit, carry things like, black tourmaline, those types of crystals. There's a whole bunch of different rituals and different ways to kind of protect yourself when you're dealing with these types of situations, because it can become kind of tricky, right? Just as we're talking about duality here, just as there are positive sides to everything, there are negative sides to everything. I would be irresponsible if I didn't say that if you're embarking on a spiritual journey and opening up to the spiritual world, you also have to be able to create healthy boundaries for yourself, to protect yourself, to know when to lock yourself off and close yourself off, and when to open yourself up to the energies. Okay, and in 2022, group number 2, I see a lot of balance coming towards you. I see a lot of leveling up spiritually coming towards you. I see you becoming your own boss, in the sense that you can use your spiritual gifts to make you money. I feel like group number 2, 2022 is going to be a super duper enlightening and surprising year for you, because you're going to surprise yourself with what it is you were capable of. All right, so group number 2, that was an amazing, amazing reading. I have one more card I want to share with you. This is just a little bit of advice, encouragement from the universe going forward for your new year, to help you kind of maneuver and maybe not feel so confused or discombobulated. This spiritual journey, if you decide to embark on one, can be quite confusing. Sometimes you don't know your head from your tail. It can also be alienating. You can be forced to kind of deal with certain aspects of yourself that you weren't ready to deal with, or you didn't even know existed. So here's a little bit of encouragement for you from the energies, from the universe for the year 2022. All right. All right. This last oracle card for group number 2 says, I am the dreamer of my dream. So the universe is basically letting you know, go out there, be strong in what it is you want for yourself. You're already ambitious. I said that in when we were talking about this Emperor energy I see here. You're very driven. You're very ambitious. But they're asking you to kind of level up and understand that what you want for yourself is what you can bring to fruition. All right? If you want to get in touch with a higher version of yourself, then go for it. It's there for you. They're waiting for you. All right? So group number 2, I thank you so much for tuning in with me. That was your reading. I wish you all the best in your new year to come. Until we see each other again, guys. Bye. Thank you for tuning in with me today. If you chose pile number 3, this is your reading. When you were choosing your piles, this is how the cards looked. You chose pile number 14. And because I was being a little sneaky, I covered up the header here because I wanted you to choose your piles with your spiritual eye as opposed to your physical one. And so I covered up the header, and what you guys got, pile number 3 was moderation. And the little card that was covering it is also an oracle card, and you have here self-confidence, strong self-belief, and a sense of self-worth. All right, so group number 4, I do believe that for the year 2022, maybe things are going to start to switch up for you a little bit. I think some of you in group number 3 possess confidence, but you're always trying to keep yourself in check because you don't want to appear overconfident. And that's not serving anybody. I do believe in 2022, you're going to be put in positions of, recognition and those types of things where your confidence is going to skyrocket, and you're not going to feel the need to kind of dim yourself to suit the people around you. You've probably been living that kind of life of moderation. I mean, they're not telling you to go out there and be wasteful or be boastful and cocky and make other people feel badly about themselves. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a healthy, wholesome self and dose of self-confidence. Okay? So that's what's coming towards you in the year 2022. You're going to believe in yourself. You are going to have, I think some of you in group number 3 already were confident people, but in 2022, you're going to be given more reasons to be even more confident. Now comes the recognition. So they're asking you to kind of be aware of how you receive all of those abundant situations and how you watch and be mindful of how you proceed as well, and not let anything get to your head too much, right? Or some of you who are overconfident, they could also be asking you to take things in more moderation because you can be alienating yourself and others with, a kind of cocky or boastful attitude. So different messages. This is different messages for different people. This is a general reading. So you take the messages as they resonate, and whatever doesn't make sense, you just let it be. All right. So you got 4 tarot cards here, group number 3. And you've got the King of Wands. You got the Queen of Cups. You have the Fool. And you've got the Hanged Man. So for group number 3, first we have balance with the King and the Queen, which kind of piggybacks off of the moderation in a sense. We're talking about harmony. We're talking about balance. We're talking about not leading with one side more than the other. As you can see here, this King of Wands, he's got the lion behind him. He is very confident, and he doesn't need to yell in your face and tell you that he's confident. He just is. You know it. You can look at him. He's a king. He's got his lion behind him, who's also the king of the jungle. You couldn't be more confident than that. So I do believe that's what's coming towards you, group number 3, is that quiet strength, confidence, very masculine kind of vibe. But I do believe it's going to be all inner confidence that's coming towards you, group number three, but because it's also going to be a journey. Like it'll be about the journey. How do you receive that confidence? You're going to be tested and put in positions where your confidence is going to skyrocket. What are you going to do with that confidence? Are you going to make other people feel badly about themselves, or are you going to pay it forward? Are you going to teach other people to also become confident? Are you going to look at those who maybe are in the situation now that you were in before, when they weren't necessarily as confident, and you're going to boost their confidence? What are you going to do with it? That's a huge responsibility to carry on your shoulders. It may not seem like it, but it can mean the difference between you being an approachable person who brings joy to other people and makes other people feel comfortable and makes other people realize the confidence within their own selves, or being the type of person who pushes people away and make people feel horribly about themselves, and put yourself in a position of later on being a loner because nobody's going to want to spend their time with you or be in your presence, because you give that kind of ick factor, as they talk about. You kind of make people feel badly about themselves. Nobody wants to be around people like that. All right. So they're also asking you to kind of just be open and receive those situations, but receive them well. Receive them with humility. You could be confident and humble at the same time. And that's exactly what they're asking you to do. Don't get too swell-headed. Accept what comes towards you, because there's a lot of goodness and a lot of abundance coming towards you. Group number 3, they're asking you to accept it in a really gracious way. All right. So group number 3, they're also asking you, this card here says set your intentions. They're also, like I was saying, they're asking you to prepare for the abundance that's coming towards you, prepare for the goodness that's coming towards you, and putting you in positions of being confident and finding your newfound confidence, exploring your newfound confidence. But they're asking you to prepare yourself and tell yourself right now, remind yourself, make a promise to yourself, take an oath with yourself to the kind of person that you want to become, and stay with that. Don't break that bond with yourself. If you want to, be somebody who, let me give a better example, okay? Because I feel like I'm stumbling over my words. Some of you could be, let's say, beginning a music career, and you're confident in your abilities, but you haven't really made it to that level yet. In 2022, you're going to be put in the position of getting more recognition. More people are seeing you. Maybe something will go viral, or you'll get approached by a producer or something to put your music out there and share your music on a more grand scale. So when that comes, and maybe more money comes along with it, you're going to naturally get a boost in confidence. Now, the boost in confidence may not just go from 0 to 5. It may go from 0 to 100, which is exactly what's going to happen. But they're asking you to kind of maintain a level head where that confidence is concerned. Okay, receive all of it. Don't ever block yourself off from your abundance that's coming towards you. But they're asking, okay, once you take it all in, what are you going to put back out? That's very, very important, group number 3. All right, because that has a lot to do with your success as well. Because if you don't know how to handle abundance, you will end up squandering it. All right, so group number 3, here's another oracle card here that says surrender to the divine. So surrender to the plans that the divine energies have for you. Just like I said, keep your hands open, just as this Queen of Cups has here. Receive. Don't block yourself off from any of your blessings, like I just said. Sorry, there was another one that fell. Don't block yourself off from any of your blessings, but at the same time, just know and prepare yourself of how you're going to receive those blessings. All right, the next oracle card that fell there said, look at the bigger picture. That's exactly what I'm saying to you. The abundance, the confidence, man. You know what? Sometimes when you get a bunch of money, all of a sudden, when you start working at a new job, or you start getting paid a little bit more, it could go to your head. You can afford things now that you couldn't afford before. Maybe you buy a new flashy car, some jewelry, or you start attracting a different kind of crowd now. Those things can go to your head very, very fast. And it can also be very off-putting to others you know, who maybe were with you when you had nothing. And so you don't want to lose that day one tribe that you were with from the get-go, who supported you, maybe who helped you get to where you are now. So they're just asking you to maintain that humility. It's a beautiful thing to be somebody who's very abundant but very humble at the same time. All right, so the next oracle card for group number 3 says Voyage of the Heart. Love flows through you and to you. So group number 3, I feel like a lot of these messages are reminders to you of who you are as a person now before you blow up. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a singer or a performer. It doesn't have to necessarily be that way. It could be you going to the gym and finally achieving that body goal that you've been working towards, and not getting full of yourself and not body shaming other people who are still in the position that you were in before. They want you to remind yourself, constantly remind yourself of who you are and who you were before you attained that goal and, leveled up like you did. Keep that in mind. Know where you always remember where you come from, and they're asking you also to reach back and help those who are coming up after you. Each one teach one. That should be your motto. Definitely reach back and help others to achieve what it is you've worked so hard to achieve. They're also asking you to not feel like because a lot of people have this mentality that once they reach where they want to reach in life, they think, well, I don't need to help anybody else. Let them struggle like I struggled. They're asking you not to do that. They want you to let love flow through you and just be an abundant person inside and out and pass along that abundance. Abundance never ends. There's an infinite amount of abundance out there for everybody. We just have to tap into it. And for those who cannot manifest abundance for themselves because of the situation they're in, or maybe they haven't tapped into their abilities, it's for the people who can manifest and who are very proficient at it to manifest on their behalf, or maybe enlighten them and teach them how to manifest so that they can better their situation. All right, so group number 3, I definitely believe that this is, in 2022, you are going to be bombarded with confidence, abundance, all of these wonderful earthly joys, desires, pleasures. All of those things are going to be racing towards you in 2022 very quickly. And if you're not well grounded, and not very self-assured, like not sure of who you are as a person, then you can get just kind of wrapped up in everything and caught up and end up becoming somebody that you never really wanted to become. You probably won't be able to recognize yourself at some point if you let it get to your head. They're asking you, don't do that. Always remain true to yourself no matter what situation you're in. Even if you're in a relationship now, for example, where you are so happy with the person you're with, you are in love with them, everything's the way you want it to be. They're asking you, don't forget the group of friends that you had when you were single. Don't forget those people who were there for you when you broke up with your last love interest and you were heartbroken and a hot mess. When your life was in a shambles. They're asking you to remember where you came from. Remember the loving, wonderful person you were and how you wish that someone had given you a break when you were working hard towards achieving your goals. You wish someone had looked back to you and extended a hand of help. Now they're asking you to do the same to others when you achieve whatever it is you want to achieve in the year 2022. It's going to be a year of some definite changes, a definite change in the way of living, definite change in your reality. Group number 3, the way you perceive yourself, and just having to remind yourself, okay, let's accept all this abundance with humility. All right. Very interesting. Very interesting. So for group number 3, we have another oracle card here that says the initiation, rite of passage, and crossing the threshold. So like I was saying to you, you're being tested in a sense in the year 2022, group number 3, to see what you will do with your abundance. Are you going to squander it? Are you going to make people feel badly about it? Are you going to misuse it? What are you going to do? Are you going to enlighten others? Are you going to become a light in this world? Or are you going to use your newfound confidence to dim other people's light? like here it says crossing the threshold. Like I was just saying before that, you are also going to be experiencing a new way of life, a new way of living, a new way of feeling, a new way of thinking. It doesn't have to be something so grand like you're going to win the lottery. Some of you may, but it could also be something, like I said, you're going to end up being in a new relationship where everything feels fresh and new and sweet, and you know, you feel so lucky. You feel like you've won the lottery, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what are you going to do? Are you going to shame other people who are single and still looking for love? Are you going to, like I said, cut yourself off from your friends who were there for you when you were in a shambles, when you broke up from your last relationship? You know, you have to kind of maintain a level head. That's not an easy thing to do, especially when you become an abundant person. All right. So group number 3, you got 3 oracle cards. I'm taking them all. These are just some words of encouragement from the universe for the year 2022. All right, so the first one says here, my vibes speak louder than my words. Okay, so this is also goes back to, you know, maintaining the wonderful person you are, the vibe of love, the love frequency, you know, being approachable, being down to earth, loving towards those who love you, keeping your tribe close to you, and, you know, being that solid person that everybody has grown to love. Don't switch it. Don't switch up no matter how abundant you become. We have here, when I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. All right. So you're going to experience a lot of peace in the year 2022 as well. And the last oracle card for group number 3 is, in any moment, I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. This also lends to or validates this Hangman card, letting you know to be mindful, be very mindful of how you treat others, how you approach situation, how you receive your abundance, and what exactly you do with it. All right, group number 3, that was an amazing reading. You guys are going to become a very abundant group of people. You're going to have a very abundant life. Things are going to switch. Your reality is going to switch in a way that you never imagined possible, but they're watching you to see what you're going to do with that abundance. It can go one of 2 ways. You can use it to uplift yourself and others, or you can use it to, you know, dim other people's light and become very selfish and self-absorbed. It's up to you at the end of the day, group number 3. But either way, the energy that's coming to you is one of self-confidence and abundance of recognition and just feeling really good about yourself. All right, group number 3, do with it what you will, but be ready to receive the consequences of your actions. All right, so for group number 3, that was your reading. That was really a strong reading. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope something I said to you today resonates with you. And I hope you do keep this message in mind because it's a powerful one. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today, guys. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. Until we see each other again. Bye. I'm back. Group number 3. This was some extra cards that fell off to the side that I didn't get to pick up for you. And I'm just noticing them on the floor. We have here, a new romantic cycle begins. And balance, spirituality, and practicality. So this exactly sums up what I was saying. For group number 3, some of you can be getting into a new relationship. Like I was saying, do not cut off your friends or your day one tribe who was with you when you needed them and you were single, living that single life. Do not cut them off, okay? Because you will always need them and they will always be there for you. Also, this card here says balance, spirituality, and practicality. Like I was saying, in the practical sense, like in the very physical sense, you are going to be faced with a lot of abundance and bombarded with a lot of abundance, which is a wonderful thing. Spiritually speaking, what are you going to do for it? Are you going to let it turn you into an even more amazing person than you already are? Or are you going to let it turn you into a monster? So that were the 2 extra messages that we got for group number 3 that I just found on the floor. I hope that made sense. And I hope you see that validated even more the messages that were already coming through in your reading. Okay, thanks for sticking around, guys. See ya.